Hello and welcome to Pisces Moon Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Kate Leonard, and I'm excited to explore the stars with you. Hi everyone. Welcome to the week of May 11th through May 17th. This is an exciting week. We've got a race between Mercury and Venus trying to get into their aspects to Mars, the god of war, the god of passion. Oh my goodness, this week is intense. It's a lot. It's a mixed bag, and I cannot wait to talk about it. Okay, before I get into it, thank you for being here. Let me just start with my gratitude. I'm so happy you're here, and I can't wait to talk to you about this amazing week. If you haven't already, please consider who you can share this podcast with. I would love to see it grow faster because I would love to be able to offer some other things that I can't do until we're just a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'd really be grateful. Also, going over to my Substack, Pisces Moon, totally free, and there's extra stuff over there. You guys actually get the basic information earlier, but they get a couple of extra goodies. So go head over and do that. And I'm still collaborating with Jackie over on the horror, spelled with a W, horoscopes. She's on Substack. The links to everything are below. And if you haven't booked a reading already, why don't you do that? It's going to make all of this make a lot more sense. Anyway, that's my little promo push for today. Now let's get into this race between Mercury and Venus. Who gets to Mars the quickest? Well, it's not so easy. So let me start by first saying that this energy is going to be weaving in and out through the whole week. There are dates when it's more intense, but the Mercury to Mars and Venus to Mars conversations that are going on, we're going to be dealing with that energy all week and even into next week. So it's very big, but it's not like, oh, just wait for Wednesday, right? It's like, this is all week. So it's big stuff. Second, let's talk about the aspects being made. So first, we have Mercury, communication, going into aspect with Mars, war, anger, arguments, but also passion. Unfortunately, Mercury is going to be forming a square. That's a hard aspect. That's tense. So Mercury is going to be forming a square with Mars. And what does that mean? Probably angry communication, harsh words, arguments, that kind of thing. That's happening this week for sure. But we have Venus moving into a trine with Mars. A trine is the most positive aspect. A trine is when the two planets are speaking well with each other, supporting each other, sharing energy easily. And so in this one, I'm thinking we get the passion of Mars and the romance and love of Venus. So, ooh la la, huh? That sounds like nice and spicy and all the good stuff. But we also still have that Mercury-Mars thing. Okay, you see how it gets complicated. This is another one I'm going to remind you, look at your natal charts. We are talking about Taurus, Leo, and Aries. You want to know where those are in your natal chart. What houses do those occupy? Because those will be the areas of life where we're hit most directly. Does it mean if, say, this one of these aspect dialogue things is happening in my house of career, I'm not also going to have wild, passionate sex? It doesn't mean that at all, but we will definitely feel it in the houses involved. So we've got Mercury in Taurus. Taurus is a fixed earth, stubborn, stubborn, stubborn. We've got Mercury in Taurus. We've got Mars in Leo. Mars is happy there, so we can get really fiery anger and really fiery passion. And then we've got Venus in Aries, which is especially good because that is a Mars-ruled sign and she's in dialogue with Mars. I'm telling you, whatever that is in your life, it is going to be hot in a good way. But look at your houses, because like I said, that's where you're going to feel it most directly. So, with that, even though I'm talking a lot about anger, arguments, that kind of thing, I'm talking about sexy, lusty, hitting the sheets. This can be happening literally between lovers, between friends, both the argument and the Venus hot stuff. But it could be happening with coworkers. This could be happening between, I don't mean the hot stuff with coworkers and family and all of that, but passion, right? Passion isn't only sexual passion. I want you to keep that in mind. Passion is passion. This can be for your children, your lover, your work project, your art project. It's passion. So there's that one kind that I know y'all, that's what you're thinking about, and me too, kind of, right? But do keep in mind that depending on where this is hitting you, you can be passionate about a lot of things that aren't, that passion. Got it? All right, I know you do. I just wanted to make that clear because if you see it like in your house of children and you're like, okay, that's weird. No, it's not. It just means you will be, passionately involved with your kids and loving the time you're spending with them. Okay? So we got to keep a little framework around all of this, yeah? This week is weird. It's like the energy is going to be braiding in and out. Are we getting the angry Mercury Mars square or the loving, passionate, excited Venus Mars trine? It's complicated. I know that's like such a cliche thing to say, but it really is complicated in this case. Let's review what an aspect is. An aspect is most powerful when the planets in question, Mercury Mars or Venus Mars, are at the exact same degree. So let's say Mars is at 13 degrees Leo. That square with Mercury is going to be most intense when Mercury is at 13 degrees Taurus. Get it? Like they're in different signs, but on the same degree. So that's why I said, even though we're going to be feeling this all week, both of these things, there are going to be times when we're feeling one over the other because it's closer to the exact degree of Mars, okay? So, with that said, I want to tell you some sort of hot spots, and then we'll get a little more into this. At the start of the week, Mars is at 10 degrees Leo, Mercury is at 2 degrees Taurus, Venus is at 7 degrees in Aries. So expect that passionate, hot, steamy, whatever kind of passion you're doing, that's going to be stronger at the beginning. Mercury is much farther away from making the exact square than Venus is from making the exact trine. So the start of the week might almost lull us into false security, right? Or security is not the right word, but we might be like, no, this is great. I'm just getting the love passion stuff. Yeah, just give it a minute because it doesn't stay like that. It's so bizarre. Remember, planets move at different speeds, and that's why by the 16th, Mercury and Venus are both tied up at 11 degrees. Mars has moved to 13. So this is really close, y'all. This is going to be the arguments and all of that kind of thing and the passion thing. So there can be passionate arguments, right? This could play out in all kind of ways. These could be two completely separate events in our life around that day. It could be like, I am having a screaming, raging argument with this person over here, and I am hot and steamy with this person over here, or with my art project, or with my whatever. You get it. Or it could be like, I'm having hot and steamy, and in between it all, we're fighting like crazy, right? It's like, I love you, but blah, 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 blah. And then the argument starts, right? So this could be really united. They're happening exactly together. This could be one relationship that is going through a little bit of a roller coaster around this time. All right, you get what I'm saying. And then by the very end of the week, on the 17th, listen to this. Who gets there first? Who wins the speed race? Mercury does. On the 17th, Mercury is at 13 degrees. Mars is at 13 degrees. Venus is only at 12. So, this is splitting hairs a little bit. We're going to be going through this energy, both of these energies all week. But to get to that exact most powerful relationship, Mercury wins. So I'm just saying, watch out a little bit, right? That Mercury square to Mars could be pretty vicious, honestly. Mercury, as I already said earlier, is in that fixed Earth Taurus. Fixed Earth, I tell you guys this all the time, it doesn't move, it's stubborn. Taurus is probably the most stubborn sign of the zodiac. And then we've got Mars in Leo, and that is fire in fire. And they're not at a good angle. There's tension. So what? We get stubborn. Somebody gets stubborn. And there's this heated energy behind it. You see that? So watch out this week, you guys. It's a weird thing because I always talk about it like this is going to be happening to us. And so I think sometimes, and I mean, that's true, this is going to be happening to us. But I think sometimes how that plays out or how that sounds is like there are going to be these irrational, stubborn people who are making us angry. Yes, that is very likely to happen. But remember, this is for all of us. So what they're doing to us, we're doing to somebody, right? So we may be in one relationship that's doing some back and forth, or in multiple relationships. We may be playing multiple roles. We may be digging our heels in and be all stubborn and like, no, my way or the highway, and the other person is erupting from that fire. Or it could be the opposite. They're being stubborn and they push our buttons and we're really angry. Or either party could be digging their heels in and firing up. It's a weird kind of thing. These energies are impacting us in all different ways. That's why it's important to kind of look at your chart and see where it's going to hit the hardest, especially for this one, because it is a tense, uncomfortable energy. You kind of want to know, like, oh, wow, this is hitting my 10th house. I need to watch myself at work. I know there's a chance that either I'm going to get stubborn or somebody else is going to get stubborn, whatever. And I need this job, right? I need this job. So I need to practice the counting to 10 thing and, go take a break when you need to because you need the job, right? Or if it's happening in your partnership, 7th house, if that's involved, again, you could fight it out. And in the 7th house, given the Venus stuff going on, I don't know, it may be like you fight it out and then there's that nice makeup sex. You know what I'm talking about, right? But it could also be that you fight it out and break it up. It could go that far. So I'm just saying, look at where it is in your chart and be on guard a little bit there and just remind yourself like, oh, this is that Mercury Mars thing. I need to take a minute. Maybe I don't need to rage quit my project, my job, my spouse, whatever it is. Oh, and even though I really believe, given the energy this week, most of the Mercury Mars difficult aspect is going to come out through communication. And remember, Mercury is not only talking. Watch what you're doing online. Watch what you're posting on social media. All of that stuff counts. Mercury loves social media. So be careful and remember that once something is posted, you can go in and delete it, but people have already screenshot it. We know how it works. Don't get yourself in trouble this week. Give it a minute, all right? But the other thing is Mercury also rules travel. So expect road rage. This is a classic Mercury square Mars, road rage. Expect it from other people. It might be coming up for you. Drive carefully this week, all right? I'm really serious. Road rage is classic for this. We may be doing it. If you find that you're feeling that, take the next exit or pull over to the curb, whatever, wherever you drive, and do some deep breathing or something, okay? Because nobody needs what this could be, okay? We don't want any accidents because Mars, Mercury, all right? We don't want any accidents. All right. I love, love, love the Venus energy. And even though Mercury gets exact to Mars first, Venus is 1 degree away. We're feeling all of that as well. She's going to make the exact trine next week. So this is going to carry into next week. And she's going to stay there a little bit longer because Mercury moves quicker. He's going to get out and Venus will be hanging back. You guys, this is everything. This is one of the most beautiful aspects in the sky. These are the celestial lovers, Mars and Venus, right? They're gorgeous together when they're playing nicely. And remember, on top of the trine being the most wonderful aspect, Mars is the host of Venus, who is in a sign he rules. So this is gorgeous. This is beyond. Keep in mind, if it's in your first house, this is really about yourself. It's about learning to really find the passion, that internal fire that you need to live your best life. Of course, there are 2 houses being affected by this, so you got to look at that, which one is which. But nevertheless, first house is going to have to do with self-love, deep inner passion for your own life. 4th house is family. 5th house, you creative people. It is children. It is also sex. It is just straight up sex. So, oh my gosh, some of you 5th house people in this one, boy, howdy. You might want to put those little soundproofy sheet things up around the room because the passion, yikes, y'all. I don't even know what to say. There we have it. This is also the house of creativity. So you artist, anybody and any kind of artist, creative writers, painters, actors, singers, dancers, you do you. This is beautiful. You are going to be on fire and passionate and loving your own project and your own experience as an artist. 7th house people, that's your primary relationship. And this is another one. This is just passion with your lover. 10th house people, it's career. 11th house people, you are going to be just having a great time with your tribe, right? You're going to be feeling passionate connection with your tribe. So it's a beautiful, beautiful energy. The Mercury thing is weaving in this week, and I do think we have to be aware of it. But ultimately, by next week, Mercury is pulling out of this relationship. Venus and Mars continue on. So it's not going to be the yelling, screaming war match that wins this, right? I mean, it can do damage. Be careful, right? But it's not that that's going to win. Venus is going to hang back and stay with Mars. And even if you've been fighting with somebody, your lover, somebody really significant in your life, there will be makeup sex. Whatever that means in whatever house it is, okay? I hope that all makes sense, and I hope that this is valuable. Please, please, please share the podcast. I'd be so grateful. And until next week, go out and seize the energies of the stars. And this week, do it with passion. I know you will. Talk to you next time. Bye.